Hello again, this is the Watering Man, Spiritual Toolbox number 89, the Love Chapter number 65, audio recording number 407, and examination table number 69. We'll be continuing in Hebrews chapter 12, verse 29, where it says, in the King James language, it says, "For our God is a consuming fire." Okay? Now, let's get it here and break down. I'm going to just briefly touch on what I did last time and continue on, okay? Now, first word they just translate is for in there. It's actually there's three words in the original language. Kai, K-A-I, this word.
Strong's G 2532, Kai.
Okay, Kai means and, basically. And then Gar, G-A-R, 1063.
Strong's G 1063, Gar.
Which they neglected to translate. Okay, and that means it can be because, but to go deeper into that, it's this is a fact, and it demonstrates it and does this explicative, declarative, demonstrative, and conclusive. Okay, it does this very thoroughly. Okay, all right. It's like an argument God's putting forth his case. Very thorough, internally, and he's doing this through experience and a relationship with you, so that you can choose, agree, accept his way. His way is the right way. He's the right way. He's the right way. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Daddy. I love you. You are the greatest. You are my exceeding great reward. That other stuff is garbage. Yes, burn it up, chop it out, and then start refining out those metals that's in me that I think is absolutely so important and true and beat down and polished up. They're bull crap. Melt that stuff out, skim it off. So you're saying yes to this, karate chop every one of them. Try chopping all that outside like wooden thinking out of your thought process, each one, each little ball. And then down in you, that metal inside of you, that impurities is not gold, not God's character, not God's right-mindedness, that love beyond words. Pull that up to the top and chop and skim that stuff off. Hiya, hiya, hiya. Skim, skim, skim. Okay? Purifying it. Okay? Now, the next word is that H-O, ho, or ha. And it's the definite article. This one's not translated in the King James Version either. Not here. I don't know anywhere that is. But it's a definite article. It's the or this one, that one. It's this ball that you're thinking. This area of your thinking. God's chopping, working on internally in you. It's describing in intimate detail. It's bringing you intimately close, where God's holding you stronger than the strong nuclear force holds the nucleus, holds the protons and neutrons in the nucleus of an atom, and it has to be very close to do that. It's the strongest force in the natural, but it's got the shortest, it's really, really short in how far its effectiveness is. It draws you in real close, just like Goshen. In the land of Goshen, there's all these plagues and stuff going on. The 10 plagues, right? Going on when Moses was going to the Pharaoh and was going through all that stuff. Okay? And in the land of Goshen, in that drawing near, Goshen means drawing near, in that nucleus. Didn't bother them. Can't touch this. Boom. Okay? You're in there. God's protecting you. Okay? Now on this one, God's bringing you all the way in there. Just through using these little negative electron experiences through your life, you get much greater. Each one, that proton or neutron, is 1,836 times larger than an electron. Any electron. in your life, any negative experiences in your life, any negative experiences, any calamities, tribulation, ellipsis, any fiery trials, no matter how bad, no matter how much comas and having to walk all over again, collapsed lungs, broken necks, I've had a lot of them. They're nothing. That's just a little glimpse, 1 to 1,836. And then as you become a denser and denser and denser water in each one of these thought processes, it's becoming heavy water. And each one of those neutrons going into the center of the nucleus of that atom is about the same size as a proton. So the elements stand the same. It's water. It's a word. It's a sincere word. That's the thought process. That's meat and potatoes. It's bringing you in there. God's holding you. Woohoo! And then it's adding that, making it heavier. So in that pipeline, it's really, really dense. In God's, it's glorious. Doxa. It's heavy, weighty, dense substance in God. It's heavy water. Each one of them neutrons is adding like another realm of that. And that's just a natural. God's wants great. It's exceedingly great reward. God is your exceeding great reward. Like he told Abram, right? Genesis 15:1. Now, this this one, that H-O, ha. Okay? That's whenever, as your thought process are coming in there to join with God's thought process, that's like the marriage supper of the Lamb. Because you're coming in, relying upon God. Okay? You're in God. And you're S-Y-N. You're in union with God. It's coming back to one. You're coming back to your origin. Started in God. And God loved us what? Chav. Yeah, chav. Yeah, that love that was not yet completed. And we're going through all this stuff, chopping and melting out, impurities, refining, in each and every thought process, and then it's coming right back to where it can, boom, be back in and in union with God. S-Y-N. Marriage supper of the Lamb, baby. We're married to God in that thought process. But you got to go a long way through that. A lot of chopping, burning out that old garbage thinking, poopy thinking. Then melting out those impurities, that dried out poop that's like metal or rubberized concrete. And you, only God can get that stuff out. Because that's really not a tangible thing. You can take natural nitroglycerin out there. I'll blow it out. No. Only God can do it. It's not by your might nor by your power, but by my spirit, says the Lord. Zechariah 4:6, okay? Use that all the time. Now this God is that theos. Remember, that's also in that. That's the supreme divinity, 23:16, okay? And in that word, the root from that word says of a certain affinity, a deity, especially with that ha. The chav, just coming all the way back around, completing it. Racham, becoming one again. Woohoo! Right? Victory. That's in each and every thought process. You got a whole myriad of thought processes to do in you. And then there's a myriad of people over all that's ever lived. So, I don't know how many there is. There's billions right now on the earth. And there's been much more than that throughout time. Throughout antiquity, right? All right. There is a number of so far it's been there, but I don't know what that number is. It's a bunch. Okay? Now, that's kind of tying it together, what it's saying so far. And that's just that they got for God, our, and it's actually that Kai, Gar, Ho, or Ha, Theos, and then it's Himon, that's our, right? I started doing that one last time. And that's 2257, right? It's a pronoun. It's a genitive case of the plural, genitive case plural of 1473, which is ego. E-G-O. See, I'll get it right there and show you. Or I'll let it say it to you. Okay, genitive case of a plural, 1473.
Strong's G, 1473. Ego.
Ego. It's your ego edging God out. It's that carnal mind, that's me, and that's me, myself, and I. See, it says a primary pronoun of the first person I, only expressed when emphatic. I'm reading that bad boy right out of these big old books right here. I'm tapping on one right there. Right there's the Strong's. It's in there. It's all of them. Okay? Now, that genitive case, remember, that expresses, this is a genitive, oops, hang on a minute. Right back here. It's a genitive case, plural, of that ego, that I. It's trying to be king and God in the place of God. It's an alpha dog. It's not alpha. And the omega, the beginning and the end, the first and the last. It's not God. But it's trying to act like God. Trying to convince you, deceive you, and everything. Deceive me, everything. But shut the heck up, you dog. Here's a sock for you. Duct tape. Dun, 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 dun. Now keep quiet, you old dog. Right? That's inside each and every one of us. It's ours. That's be still. Just like Jesus came up there. Be still. How long I got to put up with you fellers? Right? Those disciples. Going, oh, we're going to die, we're going to die, we're going to die. Okay? Sneaky snake, dog, all this stuff. Be quiet. Those winds and waves, they went perfectly still, didn't they? Be still. I'm just saying, put a sock in it. Put a muzzle on it. Okay? Now, whoa, that ego, just that acrostic of that E-G-O, you can do it to remember this, edging God out. That's all your stinking thinking's doing, and it's trying to put the blame out there on some monster or something like that. Scare tactics and all this stuff. It's just a manipulating jackass. Don't believe that jackass inside you. Okay? My children hear my voice and the voice of that other one, that jackass in them, they won't listen to. That donkey, he-haw, 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 he talk like that. Don't believe it. Make God chew and all men, all that anthropos, all that jackass nature inside of you that you were subjected to. A liar. Look at this. That other one up here, God was telling you about how all this stuff he's demonstrating and explicative and all this stuff. And it's not just a because. Should be absolute proof inside you so that can be your gospel, your good news as each and every thought process. As you get E and an S-Y in God, and you're married to God, and you're in union with God's right mindedness, you're heavy water in that pipeline. Woo-hoo-hoo! Yes! God is great! Better than chocolate cake! Oh, yeah! Right? He's better than anything you could ever want. He's your exceeding great reward. See how absurd this other stuff? That's that carnal stinking thinking of you. Tries to get you. God's going to torment you forever and ever and ever. But he really loves you. And what daddy or mommy that really loves their child is going to do any of that stuff in the slightest to their children? Not me. And I'm nowhere near. My thinking is nowhere near. I know more than God. That'd be like a daggone dumbass donkey inside of you saying that crap. But as your thinking's changed, transformed, burn that crap up and stuff down through that narrowing path and going back E-N and S-Y-N, God, that's the power God's your power, your strength, your high tower, your refuge. He's holding you stronger than even a strong nuclear force holds the atom together. The nucleons, that's protons and neutrons in that center of the atom, in the nucleus of an atom, are held real tight in close range, in close proximity. Okay? They have to be really close, like in that land of Goshen. But see, God holds it even greater than that. There's no way, nothing is greater than God. If God be for you, who cares who's against you? Who can be against you? Shall anything be able to separate you from the love of God? But like at the end of the last few verses in Romans chapter 8, no, no, no. Persecution, famine, blah, 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 nakedness, peril, sword. You can go read it for yourself. I can pull up there and read it, but you do your homework. I've done it many times. Okay? Now, so this genitive case, this hemon, and from the base of that, it's ego. Your stinking ego, okay? And each and every person, and then the plural of that. Plural of it in your mind, and the plural of it in all of humanity. So each one of us, from the least to the greatest. God's working internally inside of us. Woo! Bring us back into that marriage supper of the Lamb, to that E-N and S-Y-N of God. That's a whole lot. That's that we down to like a consuming fire. I was showing you. Okay, no. Yeah, I done read that. That ego is only expressed. That me, myself, and I. That big ego is only expressed when emphatic. It's a loud mouth trying to tell you what's up, man. So you can't even hear. But you're seeing, hear, and taste, touch, and smell with that ego and control that big eye. That log in your eye. Gotta get that thing out. Well, that part of your thinking so you can see clearly to help get the splinter that you're seeing their big problems in other people's eye that you don't really know very well at all. You don't hardly know at all what's going on inside their head, what they're going through. Say, well, I don't see nothing wrong with them. You don't know. Okay? It rains upon the just and the unjust. We don't know what kind of problems going on. There's all kinds of things. The main problem, that disease, is that ego thinking. Ooh, yuck, poop thinking. Only God is the answer. That's the only cure. Let's agree. Back into the mind of Christ. Back into me, says the Lord. Okay? Gotta have fun with this. Not allowed to get depressed. Okay? What I got here? One's own ego tries to edge God out. They try to disown God. But God owns us, each and every one. And it's every thought process. This is like this other back here and a little bit and the other thing. God, we're His possession. We're His prize. God's not messed up bully. He's going to worse than scrap us. That's retarded. That's ignorant. Okay? Just the ignorance of God. Don't know no better. They're not down E-N and S-Y-N God. Father, forgive them, for they know not what they're doing. Father, lay not this sin to their charge. This offense is missing of the mark. Just a couple of examples, okay? Now, let's see here. For God, whoops. touch something. There we go. Now, an after hour is fire, then a consuming. Okay, that's the next two words, and that's all of them in that verse. Okay, now fire is from the word pyr, number 4442. It's pronounced pour. Here, it's this word.
Strong's G 4442. Port.
Pour. Okay. Now, here, so I want it both ways here. It's a neuter noun. It's a root word. Okay. The online biblical usage says fire, but we're going down here. In the Strong's Exhaustive Concordance, it says fire, literally or figuratively, especially lightning. Now, lightning, which way is lightning go? Usually from like a cloud over, comes down to the earth, inside of it. It's zapping it out. Pete, almost like chopping it out or burning that stuff out. And it's also cloud to cloud fire. Be like refining it out. Okay, and always in an upward manner. And it's just speaking in your mind. This lightning is what lights up the sky. Like at night, when this lightning lightning charge, it's like turns on the light for a little bit. It's enlightening. It's exposing it to you. So when it hits the ground, it's like chopping it out. It's like split a tree right down the middle. Split out wooden thinking. All these ball thinking, right? Because what's it doing? What's the earth? It's like a ball. Big, a pretty good sized ball, right? If you get all the way down, it's like that little ball in there. It's got wood on the outside and hardened down metals and stuff, and then it's got that seed way down in the middle. And starting out, you don't know nothing about that. Okay? That seed's got to be, all this got to be transformed in each and every thought process, bringing you back, returning you, rebirthing you back in, and that's why in God. Marrying you back to God. So it's completing God's love for you. It's incompleted, back to completing it. He's bringing it back whatever order he wants in it. Well, however much of that thinking process that he wants to bring it within everyone. Now, you want to accept, you want all that he's got for you, or you just want part of it? I'm only going to agree to some of this now. The rest of this, I'm going to stay with my old BS. I'm going to stay in my own crap. Because I done put too much time and stuff shoveling this manure on my dirt. My dirt thinking, man, I got to get ready for this garden of weeds. This garden of good food. Just plumb silly. Just, now, you gotta have fun with this stuff, man. God is the greatest, okay? Quit thinking of him like a villain, and then, it's crazy. Now, let me read here what I got about that lightning. That's that pour, right? The word they translate is fire, right? P-Y-R, okay? At 4442, okay? Let's see here. Yeah. Oh, there's a whole bunch of stuff in these other ones. I wrote some down here. That it's talking about also fire or lightning, okay? Now, lightning comes from many different angles, directions and stuff, just like on that ball, chopping it out. Lightning striking the earth, thinking, chopping all that stuff out. Yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. And then when it gets down in there, it's be like heating it up, cloud to cloud stuff. Okay? Refine it out, skim it off, skim it off, skim it off, skim it off. Right? You're heading right back down through this narrowing path, back in, and that's why you ain't got it. Right? Let's see if I covered it. Kind of quickly there, but okay, let me read what I got here. Probably said it already. Lightning comes from many different directions, doesn't it? lightning, or cloud to cloud lightning, and there's cloud to the earth, your earthly, fleshly thinking lightning. Okay? It's like this big ball of the globe of an earth. Okay? Thinking in there. Each little bitty ball inside of a big ball. Alright? Alright, and God's working each individual little bitty tiny ball in there. He's got all that dirt crap all over it. He's chopping it out. Okay? This lightning within one's mind enlightens a person to more of God's righteousness, God's right-mindedness. Okay? God's love without word, beyond words. God's love beyond words. Not without a tongue twister. God's love beyond words. It's greater than unconditional, greater than unshakable, greater than any amount of words, perfect love, greater than any amount of adjectives you can compound. You cannot adequately describe how much God loves us. Okay? Remember in Genesis chapter 1, verse 31, said when God looked upon all that he had made, he said, it is very good, exceedingly good. If you don't remember it, you better go look. Better dig in and study below the surface, okay? Now, to more, this enlightens a person to more of God's righteousness, his right-mindedness, while burning up the fleshly thinking. Shall we try to chop this board, or this fleshly thinking, my child? Amen. Yes, so be it. I agree. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. In hot pursuit. Strong affirmation. That's the answer we need. Be in hot pursuit. All the rest of it is disagreeing with God. No manipulation allowed. You're not going to manipulate God. Can't do it. Okay? Yes, emphatically in hot pursuit of God's righteousness is the right answer. Then God gives the increase back. He's bringing that thing a little closer, a little closer. You keep on existing into the self-existing one. You're agreeing right into, you're being agreeable. When you're at heavy water down inside that, you're in union with God, and you're relying upon God. You're E-N and S-Y-N. You're married. You're no longer married to that seeing, hearing, taste, touch, and smell with that ego in the way. That's being consumed and refined out of that little ball of your thinking. And it's brought E-N and S-Y-N. Relying and in union with that heavy water inside that pipeline of God. And it's not up here grandiose no more. It's not down here. Poor me. Depression. The good and the evil. No ugly either. The good, bad, and the ugly, okay? God is great. All right? Now, that takes care of fire. Now, let's get to the last word. I'm not sure if I'll get this one done on this one. If I don't, it'll be on the next one. Okay? A consuming comes from one word. It's 2654, and it's Katanalisko. Woo! This word.
Strong's G 2654. Catanalisco.
All right. Might as well have fun. Lisa said you might go get that at Toro Loco or at the Mexican restaurant. I don't know. They got good food there, but okay, that's a verb. And that one comes from the root etymology. I'm gonna have to get this one, probably another one. I'll continue working on it. Comes from 2596 and 355. Okay, and those are G. That number. I'm just leaving the G off. G 2596 and G 355. Okay. Now let's go. That's 2654. The Continentalisco. Okay. close enough. To consume or of fire is online biblical usage. Let's see, try to keep track of where I'm at on this. So did I say what that? Yeah, it's a verb, okay? And it in the Strong's is to consume utterly. That old garbage thinking and that old hardened down, poopy thinking, dried out stuff is rubberized concrete, or this presumptuous, sinful nature, that concrete, yuck stuff you're trusting in, or whatever it's just yuck, or stuff you don't even know that's down in there. That stuff's been melted out, refined out, too. It's being utterly consumed. That's refined, okay? This consuming fire is cutting out this stuff, okay? I might do a thing later on about the refining fire, okay? I'm not real sure if I'll get that yet. It depends what God leads me to, okay? I am going to go back, God permits, go back to 1 Corinthians 13. Oh, I'm about to run out of time. Okay, let's see here. And in the Thayers is saying to consume, okay? I'll have to come back and do these root words from this, okay? And this has been Spiritual Toolbox number 89. Okay, I'll continue a little later. Bye-bye.